Everybody. So I thought I would go through just a real quick overview of setting up the leg. Um, and I'll add a little something to help with this orientation of the knee joints with the pull vector stuff. So I have my control here. I've got my foot control. Sorry, I've got my leg twist control. And the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that I've got my orient constraint on there. That's good. And I'm going to go ahead and create a IK handle, hip to ankle. And I'm going to go ahead and connect my foot control to my foot control to my IK handle via a point constraint. And now when I move my leg, you can see everything goes with it. When I move my foot control, the leg goes with it. You can also see how the knee kind of starts to swing out like that. We can do a little thing here. The reason is because when you create your IK solver or your it tries to calculate the pull vectors. The pull vector is what Maya uses to determine how the knee bends. And so because I think our angle here from our hip to our knee to our ankle is so shallow, it's having a hard time really getting a good, sort of a strong read on it. So one of the things we can do is actually give it something to point at. And so what we'll do is I'm going to actually go in and create a locator. And for the locator, excuse me, I'm going to set the size to 0.001 just so that it's small. It doesn't take up the whole screen. And I'm going to call this HLPR for helper, left underscore locator underscore leg. Actually, let me do this leg pull vector. So I'm just going to say leg underscore PB. I could probably come up with a better naming convention, but this is kind of on the fly. So what I'm going to do here is I'm also going to create, I already created a layer for helpers, so I'm just going to add my I'm going to add my IK handle to it and my my locator here. So I'm going to hold the V key down and I'm going to snap that locator to the knee joint. And then I'm just going to drag it out straight. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down the shift key and I'm going to select my IK handle for the left leg. And then I'm going to say constrain pull vector, just like that. Now, when I take my foot control and I move it up, you can see how it still now kind of bends in. But that's just because of where this locator is. If I move it up, you'll see that it's starting to straighten back up. And if I move it a little bit more over to the right, and I move it way up, maybe I need to move it just a little bit more like this. Now, if I select my foot control and I move it up, move it way up here. The quick thing is that you're basically sort of interactively setting how this leg is going to, how this knee is going to try to resolve its angle. So if I select this now and I drag it down, it's a little too far. That's actually not too bad. I'll just leave it like that. And let's see what happens when I drag this down. That's a little too far for me. So there's kind of a sweet spot that you're looking for. And I think that's probably pretty reasonable, because at that point, then we can use our leg twist to sort of do any fine tuning for the position of the leg. But you can see, like, now we can get a pretty darn good range of motion without a lot of really awkward, a lot of really sort of horrendous bends. Yeah, that's probably fine. And you just kind of play around with this until you see that's just too far. Got a little bit of pop there. Let's move it way up there and see what happens. That's probably pretty decent. So just kind of do a little bit of a test here. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. And then even like in an extreme situation, that looks pretty good. So you can see you had to move that locator kind of far out there. But what we've got now is a nice way of, we can even, like, you know, later on fine tune that if we need to. So now what we're going to do is, now that we've kind of got that knee so that it's behaving, we can go into the leg twist, and we need that property, which is twist molt added to this, or attribute added to this control. So go to edit, add attribute, twist underscore molt. It's an integer, no min max, default 0. Actually, just say default 1. Let's just say 1. And then I'm going to click on OK. So twist molt 1. And I can actually go in and say edit. Well, anyway. So twist molt 1. And now I need to connect my twist attribute for my IK handle to the information on my or the channels on my leg twist. So again, we're using the X translate to twist the leg, and we're going to be multiplying that value by the twist molt. So shift select so that I've got my control and my IK handle selected. And then I'm going to go into Windows, Node Editor, go ahead and clear what's in there. And then you can click the plus to add what you've got selected. I don't need the shape, so I can get rid of that. Hit the minus, do not hit delete. And then here I've got my leg twist and I've got my IK handle. So again, right, like if I take my X translate and I plug it directly into my twist, you can see it creates this little conversion box, which is just fine. And I'm just going to bring this down here for a minute. I'm going to dock this here so I can get at it again. And again, right, because I've just connected the X value to the twist, you can see that it doesn't actually do much. As a matter of fact, edit attribute, select, that's okay. It doesn't actually move much. So that's where this molt comes into. So I'm going to open up my node editor again. And I'm just going to go ahead and delete this connection between the two. I'm going to add, right click, go to create node, type in mult, double click on multiply divide. You can drag that over. I'm going to expand the inputs and the output channels. So I'm going to plug my control translate X into the input 1 X, whoops. And there's my unit conversion, which it does automatically. And then I'm going to plug in my twist mult into input 2X. Then I'm going to take the output X and drag it into my twist. And now, anytime my control translates along the X, it'll be multiplied by whatever value is in my twist mult. And then that result is going to be plugged into my twist value or channel in my, my IK handle or IK solver. So as we did in class, we determined that -200 is probably a good value. The reason we did it negative is so that when the control is dragged outward or inward, the knee follows predictably, right? So now what we've got here is we've got a nice solver for the knee, and then we can do fine tuning with the knee position with our control in the back. So anyway, that's it. Hopefully this makes sense. If you don't, if you need any clarification, feel free to reach out to me through Discord. All right. Thanks, everybody.